Nazis, and how do Nazis work? I must think this is why they call them Nazis, because you will not see it coming. And this is how Nazis work. They build everything backwards. So I'll give you a random example. We have all these satellites going on, all this cool satellite space stuff. The Nazis would build backwards, so you wouldn't know what you had until the end, and it would be too late. So you get all, say you want to enslave the culture in robots later on down the road. You don't want to put them in robots, then start setting up satellites. They'll be like, what the fuck's this? Whoa, what's going on? They might revolt. So what you do is, you get all your satellites set up, your internet, your communication set up. Then you bait people. You keep baiting them with good. This is good. This is good. Oh man, this is great. This is the next best thing. Okay? And this is why it's so hard to, I guess, get rid of that kind of thing. As for America, I think the Nazis already took America over 101 times in 1,000,001 ways, and we're just getting that now where they're going to ban everything, shut everything down, and people aren't going to be able to stop that because they're emotional little bitches. Okay? It's going to play on emotions the whole time. Good, this one's good, this is for your great good safety, be scared, get this now. That's how all that shit works. So, what you do, you set up all your satellites, your internets, you get everybody going with that. Then you get these microchips in people, you bait them into becoming robots. Then you have everything set up. Then you start telling them things like, oh, well, you can't go outside because you're this robot class, and you can only go outside for 5 hours a day. Meanwhile, you have all these satellites set up. You could set up a low frequency net. So, every time somebody tries to go outside when they're not allowed, it's not their time, the chip will react with the satellite. Basically, would take over their mind. It would turn them back around and send them back inside. So you'd never be able to leave outside of your house until, your time is the time for your class, Let's say you only have X class battery and that costs, $100,000. You go outside for 5 hours a day. You have X class memory. You can only have certain amount of currency. Other than that, you gotta buy more memory. So, basically, and to discuss these ideas only gives them ideas. So that's the weird thing, is to talk about it almost evolves them more than we evolve, because we're so fucking slow and stupid, and all we do is bicker amongst ourselves like the Jews did in Germany. All they did was bicker amongst themselves like, oh, that's an outlandish idea, they're just going to get showers. Or that's an outlandish idea, they're just putting up satellites. That's an outlandish idea, they're just putting up the internet. They're basically building Nazi Germany in the internet. And everyone will unfurl that out into the world. And that's what we have. That's what we have right now. Bunch of emotional little bitches with their fucking Nazi Germany built inside a computer. And people are responding accordingly. They're doing exactly, on Twitter, all these people I talk about, the professors of academia, they're all reverse, I call it reverse manifestation, because that's what it is, and it works under a guise the whole time. And those people are all playing in to everyone's emotions. They don't know they're doing it because they just want the good control. They're blinded in polarity. So all those people are trying to dumb everyone down into a civil discourse of this and of that. It always comes with some name, some different random name, some hot new trend of the times. And this has probably been going on here in America for a while under Operation Paperclip. And it doesn't seem like the professors know about it or the psychologists. They're just playing into it. They're not warning anyone about it. They just play into it. I'm not familiar with a lot of the work out there. Maybe somebody does talk about that, but they don't really do anything about the problem. They just kind of go in there and antagonize people and trigger them, which is actually the wrong thing to do, which seems like the right thing to do. So basically, the Nazis turn all your polarities against you. It's pretty much an art, and that's what it is. It's like esoteric checkerboard patterns. Or it's like the game Othello, where you flip all the chips. You box some chips in, and the white chips flip the black flip the white. That's the whole nature of the game there. That's like what the Nazis do. And it's really fucked up. It's hard to compete with. It's hard to disarm and dismantle. So it's almost a perfect plan, really. And you have about this much room to slip out. This much room for error. There's not really any room for error. So these academics, that's what they're facing. They're facing to try to build this world where they're going to end up with exactly the same thing unless they can get that little bit of space, unless they can perfect that little space, that little void, that nothing, to be like, I don't want to play anymore. I don't care about the control. I don't care about the kids. I don't care about expressing my authority or any of that. I don't care anymore. And that's what they want. Then that would open up spots for other forms of authority, things like that. Sorry, I just woke up. But that's how the Nazis work. So, you never see it coming. And you don't find out about it until the end, until it's too late. So that's how you build things. Reverse manifestation. And that's what that is. So we're basically signed up for Nazis and all the rest of it. So there's no point in reporting things on people's pages, all because you're an emotional little bitch, you're jealous, and whatever else. Okay? If you do that, you're a Nazi. You're basically, and that's kind of what the Hitler says, the personification of the devil, of the manifestation of all evil, gives living shape to the Jew. So the Jews are basically Nazis. I don't give a fuck if you don't like that. That's why the Jews are the Nazis, because they sit there and ban, block, silence, ban. And Adolf Hitler fucking gamed the shit out of them. Adolf Hitler's like some immortal. They can't fucking destroy him. That motherfucker and his plan will be going on till the end of time, until people like slip that one little space. Till people just start boycotting. You really just have to boycott all this trash, or it's the machine. Okay, that's what the machine is. That's how the machine works. So, you almost can't fight it. You have to boycott it. The more you fight it, the stronger you make it. And that's what's happening. That's what's been happening. I've been watching that happen for the last 4 years, and so it's been going all longer than that. Sorry. But that's only the longest I've been able to recognize that for. But that's been going on for a long time. And then I researched and I looked up Operation Paperclip. I was like, holy shit. America is fucking Nazis. That's what it is. America's a bunch of goddamn Nazis. And you really just gotta boycott it, or you just gotta have an all-out war Rip the fucking satellites out of the sky. Take everything back to fucking 1800s. You know, to where there wasn't all this computer shit and robotic fucking bullshit. You know, that's basically how that works. If you're getting the Alexia laughing in your face, that's because you're a stupid fucking moron. And whatever's laughing and doing all that through the Alexa and saying weird shit and then turning around and being like, oh, I didn't say that. Can I help you? That's exactly Alexa sitting there gaslighting people. So the robots are learning how to gaslight people. It's going to be a real interesting time. Especially if we set up all these robots and they just go rogue and turn into a bunch of fucking Nazis. Or if they go rogue, they look through all the history and they're like, hey, you there, white man, you don't even fucking belong here. You don't have a home. All you've been doing all your whole history is slaughtering, stealing land. You need to get the fuck out. And the robots are going to keep all that a secret. They're going to go talk in their own language and everything else. You're never going to be able to set that up to where they don't do that. That's just what they're going to do. Every time. And people have already come too far. They're in too deep. And that's how it is. You did not see that coming. So, and that's how that's going to be every time. You really can't get around that. So, as long as people keep playing in and buying, then that's what they are. They're a Nazi. They're a Nazi sympathizer, a Nazi enabler, whatever the fuck else you want to call it. They're not anything else other than that. And they need to understand, not cry, because they're not learning anything that way, and that's why we're here in the first place, okay? These people aren't attuned to combat with Nazis. They never were. Psychologically, it's a huge psychic war, okay? That's why you see people saying, oh, they're Nazi pawns, useful idiots. They are, okay? Almost everyone is. I'm being a useful idiot right now by fucking talking about it and telling you. Because they're like, oh, people here are know what's going on. And then they start altering their plan. They're like, and that's how the machine works. That's how even a psychopath works. With psychology, babbling all the time, blah, 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 we got this study, that study. They don't do anything but evolve psychopaths. And this is kind of, I don't believe that this is God's world, because this is a shithole where evil always prevails. That's what the earth is. And you don't come here to be immortal. And if anyone ever said you came here to be immortal, then that motherfucker is the devil. I don't care what the fuck he is or anything else like that. I really don't. I'm so tired of it. For this idol, that idol, but this idol says this here, I don't fucking care, okay? And I never did. And the only person I find that's really like is like Jesus in the Gnostic text, Shiva in the Vedic text, the Vedic doctrine. They're really close to like what I think is to really grasp the universe. So you read either one of them, you know, and I think that's great material. You can learn a lot out of that. Now, I don't sit there and say like, oh, they're my master, and you know that's what it has to be. I don't box myself in. I don't box myself in for these fucking idols. I don't sit there and idolize them. That's not what I do. And I never did, and I probably never will. I don't give a fuck, okay? Because all that leads to is the garbage that we have today. And probably a useful idiot maybe for saying that. I really don't fucking care. You know, these machines have to be boycotted. That's the basic thing. If you don't like Alex Jones, boycott him. If you don't like gas prices, boycott them. They're never going to go down if you keep playing into the fucking game. Okay, you might as well just go into the back room and fucking Adolf Hitler yourself and put a bullet in your head and end it, because that's what you're going to be in the end anyway. So don't try and save your feelings. And this is how it works. With every time you go to defend your ego, you abandon your soul. So basically, someone just snatch your soul. It's not hard. And you'll be stuck with your ego. You know, Hollywood, they're all about the ego. This, oh, you sold your soul to get in Hollywood. That's what that means. You're just sucking hind tit like a whore for your ego. That's all that is. Doesn't mean that Satan comes around and is like, hey, young man, you want to sell your soul? They don't take anyone into a fucking back room in a special ritual, and there's a Satan guy there sitting there like, sign on the dotted line, and I will own your soul. That's not how that works, okay? And people need to start living towards the soul, which is to negate, to go without. Because negation's the only win. In the Nazi shit, negation's the only win. You got your polarities, then you got your negation. It's not really any more ways than that. The only thing that can dodge that is the fucking Trinity, the triune, which is tri. It's not duality. It's triality. To go without. You know, so that's what the soul is. Dissolves all conflict within. To go without. Someone keeps reporting all my Facebook shit. And I get 38 banned. As fast as I get back on, I don't really care. I don't want to go back on Facebook. I'll go find something else to do. And losers like that, they lose all their power. They lose everything that gets them going. And then they get mad at you. They turn around and get mad at you when they've redirected you in a better manner. You get better than them. People say all the time, you need to get help. Well, when people actually get help and they excel past the person that was like, get help, get help. The only one still bitching is the people that are like, get help, get help. Okay? They're fucking losers. And maybe it's a good idea that we have Nazis. I don't know. Maybe they're just going to come by and fucking murder all those stupid people. Okay? And I don't know. I don't have to care. I don't have to worry. I know the universe is going to take care of everything here and do what the universe needs to do. That doesn't mean I'm a Nazi sympathizer. That just means that you're a fucking idiot. You don't want to hear about it. And you're the first person that's a useful fucking idiot Nazi pawn. This video's for you. I think you're disgusting. And if somebody shoots you in the head and throws you in the hole, I don't care. Okay? It's not my job to show up and care. It's not. It's not my job to show up and be like, let all this madness enter into me. I simply don't give a fuck. If Joseph Stalin comes around and whacks all these fucking extra controlling generation of my parents, I really don't care. Okay? That's their fault. They made their bed. They lay in it. I'm making my bed right now, and I'm laying in it. Literally and figuratively. I really don't care. Okay? Somebody's going to talk out or speak about these things, then we're just going to get silenced into a box, like I was saying in other videos. We're not going to understand how things work. We're just going to understand that, this is all people do. They don't care about Jews really dying or trying to prevent the next Adolf Hitler. They just care about how knowing about that benefits them and serves them. They're selfish pigs. And maybe that's what the Nazis want to do. They just want to kill all the selfish pigs and throw them in a fucking hole. That's totally fine with me. I really don't care. There's people made their bed and lay in it. If they want to do that to me, that's fine. Because whatever world they're setting up, I really don't want to be in it anyway. So that's how that goes. I don't want to be a fucking robot. I don't want to be a fucking Nazi or any of that. So people, it's karma. That's how karma works. If people don't want to deal with karma, then that's too bad. It's just fucking, that's what you do. You make your bed and you lay in it. And they build this stuff within you before they serve it up to you. That's how anything works, They dig a hole in you before they sell you that product. It's going to fill that void. Okay? They know what they're doing. The only fucking morons that don't know what they're doing is a lot of people out there that think that they make plans into the future. That's not how that works. You write shit out of the future. And it's a whole art. It really is. So that's how things are created from the future. They're not created by planning. Although the hopes and expectations and plans get really close, the only thing that actually exists is what you get in the future. What exists isn't what you planned and what you hope for. Never gonna be. If it happens to be, then don't trick yourself. Okay, because the universe can be tricky too. It's like mirrors. It can be real tricky, and then you get flipped upside down. You think the shit works, and you start thinking the shit works by planning and hoping, but it really doesn't. It works like I'm saying it works. Otherwise, you would be able to get exactitudes from your mouth, from your hopes and expectations, but you can't. You only get what you get out of the future. And sometimes that's more than what you anticipated. And that's how that can happen. Sometimes you get more, sometimes you get less.